Growth. It's what we all want. It means doing what it takes, getting up every morning and making it happen. And we couldn't agree more. Because your success is our success. At Morris Bank, we're banking on you.
Hello everybody, I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold. I'm here with Cindy Schaefer, my good friend, and this is the month of February.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What a nice, wonderful month. Lots of things to celebrate.
Yes, yes.
And guess what I'm celebrating besides Valentine's? That's to me, Valentine's the whole month. Actually, the whole year.
Well, let's see. An anniversary, maybe?
But anniversary, but not wedding. It's my anniversary with TV 35.
Oh.
3 years on the 4th of this month.
Exactly. Great. Wonderful.
3 years. And I don't know if you look at this closely, and my earrings very closely.
Okay.
This is the logo that I have for my Pure Gold for my show. This is to me, the most beautiful piece, the Gold Museum in Bogota, Colombia.
Oh, okay.
And I love that piece so much that not only I have it on my, my show. But I went to Colombia recently and I bought myself,
Wonderful.
I gave me my anniversary gift.
That's right. You're that TV 35?
My very own. And you've
nice.
been with me,
Actually,
a good
3 years in February. Because I think one of the first ones we did was we talked about Groundhog's Day, which is February 2nd.
Well.
And we talked all about whether it's going to be 6 weeks of winter or an early spring, depending upon whether or not the groundhog
there
saw
you go. You've been with me since the beginning.
That almost just about. Yeah, and we all went into, if he sees his shadow, he goes back into his burrow, and that means there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. And that's the way to always remember it. I know when I taught second grade, my students, we made a big deal out of Groundhog's Day. And
in Minnesota, we made a big, huge deal every year.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It was 6 long years in Minneapolis.
But we talked about that, and I know one of the very first recipes, we did a cherry strudel.
Yes, we did.
Because when I was growing up, we celebrated Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday separately, and we would always alternate them.
Yes.
And I remember telling the story how my mom always made something with cherries in it for Washington's birthday, and nobody in the family really cared for cherries, but we still make things with cherries.
So
we did a cherry strudel for one of the February recipes.
I'm not too crazy about cherries, but that cherry strudel was out of this world.
Thank you very much.
It was very good. Actually, I have not tried a recipe that you make that I did not like.
Oh, well, thank you.
Every single thing that she does is great.
Yeah.
And you have seen just a little bit. I've been here before eating wonderful things that you make.
Well, today we're going to do a recipe. It's very, very easy. And I've had it a number of times, and I've had actually some people stop me in the grocery store and say, why don't you do such and such? And this happens to be one of the recipes that they've asked me for whatever reason. It's called Bulldog Brittle, and I'll be honest, I'm not really sure where the title came from. I can't swear that it came from University of Georgia Bulldog fans, or not.
Well, we're dressed in red.
But we do have the red on, so I thought, okay, this'll do
Let's
it.
pretend
This'll
it
work.
is.
So, but it only has a few, very, very few ingredients. It has a half a cup of sugar. It has graham crackers. it has walnuts, and it has 1 stick of butter and 1 stick of margarine, and it must be 1 stick of each.
Really?
We have tried it using just all
Only
butter,
butter?
only butter, and for whatever reason, I guess it's the oil content. It doesn't get quite as crispy. It gets it's just a little bit of a different texture.
You
and
can
everything
really
to it.
tell the difference.
So it must be
That is
1 of each, and 1 stick we know
You know, I
is
was
a half a
thinking,
cup.
I'll
So.
replace for all butter.
Yeah, and I would thought the same thing, and
interesting.
and it was like, how come mine didn't turn out like yours did? The
That
firm
was
I had
the
gotten it
reason.
from, and that was definitely the reason, is that it was not butter and margarine.
Uh-huh.
So what we are going to do is we are going to put these in our saucepan,
Okay.
and they have been sitting out, so they're a little bit softer, which is fine because we are going to melt these on the
Right.
stove. We're actually going to bring our butter to a boil,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to add a half a cup of sugar to it, and we're going to continue to boil it for exactly 2 minutes.
And you actually,
And right,
do the 2
we're
minutes.
actually going to be making kind of like a candy syrupy
okay.
thing to it. But before we get started on this, we want to get our pan prepared. And this is done in what some people refer to as a cookie sheet, but it's actually what we know as a jelly roll pan because it has sides on it.
It does.
And we need to do that because when we do pour our butter and sugar
Now, I
syrup on
noticed that
top.
some have, I mean, this is what, like an inch or maybe 2 inches?
It's about an inch. Mhm.
Because I have one, but it's not as tall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends. I mean, I have another one too that it's not quite as high,
Yeah,
but
mine
my
is
pan
not.
is actually a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay.
So I just happen to use this one because my aluminum foil, my tin foil fits nicely in it.
Uh-huh.
And here again, it doesn't matter which side we use of the tin foil. We're just
I
going
was
to
going to say, you have the shiny on
You
top
got the
this
shiny
time.
side up this time. We're going to line our pan because we want to be able to pick up our brittle when it's finished and crack it into pieces, break it into pieces.
Okay.
But before we do that, we have to get our graham crackers onto our sheet.
Okay.
And I use the honey graham crackers, whatever brand you happen to like. I happen to pick up a store brand this time.
Okay.
And we are just going to go ahead and put our graham crackers in just a single layer.
In the whole
On the
pan.
whole, we're going to cover the whole pan and make sure that they touch nicely because they will shrink up a little bit. It just can't be helped. It's just kind of the nature. If you
Okay.
get another brand, they may be in like this size, which is
Yes.
fine. You don't have to break them up into.
I know what brand you're talking about.
Yeah, and normally I do, but have that brand. But they didn't have the honey graham,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't work as well, in my opinion, with like the
Different.
cinnamon or anything like that. You
Right.
don't really want the honey flavored ones.
Okay.
So how are we doing? Okay.
That looks
Should
good. We can
should
just
break some
and make sure it's full.
yeah, because they will, like I said, they will shrink down.
Shrink a little bit.
We better put them down like this, so when we do pour it on there, they'll
They all get a little bit of.
yeah. We won't have too much go over the edge.
Okay.
And I think we need one more.
More and more.
So our pan is ready to go.
Look how
With the graham
beautiful
crackers.
it looks. It's all filled with graham crackers.
We're going to top that now with some chopped nuts. A lot of the recipes call for the peanuts on it, which would be nice for Georgia. Maybe
Yeah.
the original one being Bulldog Brittle. Maybe it was Georgia peanuts.
Probably.
And everything. But we can also use Georgia pecans.
Uh-huh.
I happen to like walnuts, and my family happens to like walnuts better. So
I like walnuts, and I have tons of walnuts. So this Christmas I got, gifts with bags with walnuts. So I don't know what to do with them.
and we are going to cover our brittle, our crackers, I should say, with our walnuts. And we do have another package here, so we could really load it up if you
So
like a lot of
basically, the amount of walnuts depends of how much you like them. I mean,
Exactly.
you can have lots of it or just a
or
little
just
bit.
a smattering of them. Usually your recipes will say like 2 cups or whatever, but a lot of times when it comes to things like nuts and sprinkles and that sort of thing, or cheese, in our family there's no such thing as too much cheese. So if it calls for 2 cups of cheese, we're probably going to put 8 on.
Yeah.
Where you can't see the lasagna for the cheese.
It's just cheese.
It's just cheese. Looks like this package will be plenty. We'll just finish this off here. And there'll be some crumbs there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So actually, this is totally ready now. And our next step is going to be melting our 2 sticks of butter.
All right.
Or I should say our 1 stick of butter and our 1 stick of margarine. Let me clarify that. And once that has melted,
make sure you do that.
yes. And once that has melted and I've stirred it a little bit and it starts to come to a boil, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar, granulated sugar, not the confectioner sugar, but granulated
Right.
sugar. And because when you make a candy, a syrupy type thing, you do use granulated. The confectioner sugar, the powdered sugar, is too fine, and it doesn't
to do that
make
stuff.
it doesn't make the
Okay.
syrup like it needs to be. So we're going to do the 1/2 cup of the sugar, and we're going to continue stirring.
Until it gets kind of thick.
Yes, and totally melted, and it has to continue to boil, and it'll almost start to clarify or clear up a little bit. It won't be a milky, buttery consistency. It'll be more of a syrupy consistency. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to move over to the stove.
Let's take a short break. We're going to get ready. We'll be right back. Okay, so I noticed that you had your pot on top of the granite.
Right, I do because we're okay with a stone surface, but Formica or something,
Don't do that.
no, don't do that. So, and again, like I used, my wooden spoon for my no-stick pans. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and pour our sugar butter
Mixture.
and we're going to try to get it as evenly as we can. It's not one of these where once you pour it, you can spread it around. So you just kind of have to go kind of slowly, and hopefully you can get around
a little bit everywhere.
The graham crackers will soak it up some, and they will shrink a little bit. So once
they absorb this, will shrink instead of expand.
They shrink a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And we have been preheating our oven at 350 degrees. We're going to go ahead and put our pan in the oven now.
So we don't need to move a little bit?
No, we really can't. We can tip it, but
Yeah.
it usually will expand enough that we're okay.
Okay.
So
this is going to go, look at this. This is so beautiful. This
And
is
so
going
easy.
to go, in the oven.
it's going to go in the 350 degree preheated oven, and we're going to bake it for 12 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
That is interesting. It's not 10 minutes or 15.
No.
It's 12.
12 minutes, just like we boiled it for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. This is going into the oven. Oh my goodness, Cindy, that smells good, looks good.
So this is our Bulldog Brittle, and we do have to leave this cool a little bit.
Before we can start eating?
Before we break it up.
This is so delicious. So you break that up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to break it up. We'll just put it on the plate there so it looks a little bit, fancier. And as far as the name goes, like I said, I do not have any idea where it came from. I tried to find out, and
She always knows everything. I'm surprised.
I know.
Let's make something up.
That's right. Well, like I said, it might be, that they made it for Georgia football games or something. I'm not really sure. But it's good any time of the year. So
it's good for any type of game or
that's right. A
afternoon,
get together,
Sundays.
Could be
Family
for Super
reunions.
Bowl, whatever you want it to be. And what is also nice by doing it on the foil, we are just going to be able to kind of pick it up and kind of peel it off, and you can see the sugar consistency. Like I said, this is getting cool enough now. We'll be able to just peel this off and break it like, you've seen peanut brittle and things like that, and we'll just be able to break it, and it's okay if it doesn't break according to the
squares,
or anything like that. We'll have pieces like peanut brittle, but this is Bulldog Brittle.
Well, let me tell you, looks delicious.
Well, thank you.
Cannot wait to start eating it.
Well, we have to break it up first.
Okay, well.
And maybe the thing is that it's so good that, people hold on to their piece like a bulldog and they don't let it go. They don't share it.
No. Look at that. Okay.
And like I said, it looks like, especially if you look on the back side, it does definitely look like what brittle looks like, peanut brittle looks like. So we'll just continue to break our pieces up, peel our foil off. I do like to break it into a little bit smaller pieces than what the square is.
Yeah, and we don't need to be so...
Yeah. Precise.
Yeah. Oops. I'm a perfectionist. I'll probably just cut them very,
Well, the thing is, if you do try to cut it with like a spatula or something like that, it is just going to crumble.
It's going to crumble anyway.
Yeah, so you just might as well be kind of messy with it and, realize that it is a brittle.
Yeah. You see what I did? Yep. Look at that. This is just great. Well, this is another wonderful, great recipe that Cindy taught us. Actually, very easy.
Yes, very.
I like easy recipes. Cindy, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me back. And as always, like we were talking, it's been about 3 years now. We have recipes.
Been doing stuff together.
Yes, and we try to do a variety of things. And like I've mentioned before, this was one that somebody had stopped me and said, why don't you make such and such? So I don't know if they had it recently or whatever. But if anybody does have an idea that they, like to share, I'd be more than happy to, we'll give it a try.
Yes, wonderful. Just stop Cindy or stop me and
or
we'll
email
get it
the
done.
station or whatever. And
yes.
they'll get me the message and we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you again. And all of you, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, and happy February.